Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name is Magnum Martel, and it's time for another glorious, absolutely beautiful episode of Magnum Reviews. And today we're going to be talking about none other than Rainbow Six Extraction, a spin-off of Rainbow Six Siege that is based on basically the premise of what is their version of a zombies mode. For those of you who are unfamiliar, a long time ago, a real long time ago, like a couple years ago, like I think it was during year 1, maybe year 2, Rainbow Six Siege had a little zombies mode called, I don't remember what it was called, I think it was Outbreak or Chimera or something like that, I don't really remember. But anyway, it was a popular mode. It was a PvE mode that had been added to the game that people actually really liked and wanted to become a permanent addition. Well, sometime after that, the team over there decided, you know what, let's just make a separate fucking game for that and refine it. So they did. Here we are, 4 or 5 years later, and we've got Extraction. Now, I am personally a fan of Rainbow Six Siege. It's a good game, it's a great tactical shooter, I really enjoy it. I'm more of a casual player myself, but I still absolutely love the game, and I put a lot of hours into it. So when I found out that Extraction was coming out, I just had to give it a shot. Now, I got pretty lucky because the game ended up going on to Xbox Game Pass, which is good for me because my broke ass has spent so much money on things that I actually need, and a couple new games recently, that my woman probably would have killed me if I just straight up bought it. To be honest with you, I wanted to do this review like a week ago, but I just haven't had the time. And after my last video, I kind of needed a break after I had a little bit of a breakdown. At the time of recording this, I'd say I've put probably about 10-20 hours into Extraction, so I think I've got more than enough time to actually know whether I like the game or not. And I have to be totally honest with you, I actually do. At first, I was a little skeptical. There are some things that the tutorial really doesn't fucking teach you. Like, straight up. Does not teach you, does not tell you. Things you gotta figure out, and that's fine. But some of them are like core mechanics that they doesn't make clear. For example, right off the bat, the first one that stuck out to me was whenever you die in a mission, your operative is actually locked out. Like, you cannot select that operative until you go back into the level that you lost them in and complete an objective to save them. Which is fine, but there's only so many operators in the game, and I personally can't say what happens if you fail to save all your operators or you lose them all. I imagine you get stuck playing as a recruit or something as like a default, but who's to say? I highly doubt they would be dumb enough to just straight up lock you out of the game entirely, but this is Ubisoft, so take that as you will. The character roster is actually half decent. 18 of the playable characters from Rainbow Six Siege are fully available. Now, unfortunately, pretty much all of my absolute favorites are not available, which really irritates the fuck out of me, and it's a big hit on the game for me personally, but otherwise, I'd say the roster is acceptable. I understand not every operator is going to have an ability that they would be able to translate well into this game, but some of them, I think their abilities would have translated very well. And I'm not surprised that they didn't include any of the ones from post-Year 3 onward. But otherwise, it's an acceptable and very diverse, and I mean diverse as in gameplay, not as in diversity, kind of roster, where there's a lot of variety in the characters, and every character who has been chosen has had their ability tuned in such a way to make it, you know, more effective and actually usable for this type of game. Just to give you a little example, in the gameplay I'm playing on your screen right now, I'm currently playing as Vigil. And his ability in normal Siege is to hide from cameras, make himself completely invisible to them. In this case, he's a stealth operative and he completely hides himself from the Chimera. I will say, this game is definitely best played with your friends, but if you're not going to play it with your friends, I highly recommend doing it on your own. That's just because, for some reason, whenever you play quick play, you get matched with people who obviously don't understand how it's meant to be played. This is meant to be a slow, methodical, tactical shooter, just like Rainbow Six Siege. But, just like Rainbow Six Siege, people ignore the tactical efficiency of a planned and well-executed push, and instead opt to just sprint headlong first into the gunfire. Or in this case, the infected. It's actually, honestly, pretty fucking irritating. I played a couple of matches of quick play, and after all of them, I immediately decided I'm just going to go ahead and stick to either playing by myself or wait for my friends to join me. Now, the progression system is actually pretty interesting in this game. Rather than being a level-based progression system, it's an objective-based system, where your characters individually gain experience that effectively make them a better operative over time, unlocking more abilities, such as extra ammo, harder to detect, more health, things like that. So it's worth it to focus on a couple of characters and try to max them out early. But there's also the level progression system, where playing a level unlocks you some research progress. Essentially, the entire point of the extraction plot is that some kind of plant-based infection took over and wiped out multiple cities, and the Rainbow team has taken over for leading operations on studying the plant. They send their people in with specialized tech, and they do studies. Essentially, every objective is a little bit different. There's a nice variety of them, although they could stand to have more. I think there's like 6 different types right now, and some of them just are ridiculously not worth doing because they're too difficult. Although, you're pretty much always going to have a rescue objective because you're always going to have an operative fucking down. The good thing is that you can get multiple rescue objectives and save. When it comes to an operative going down, basically they deploy this stasis tech, which is that foam thing you just saw if you were looking at the gameplay. The enemies are not intelligent, but they are highly aggressive. If you get spotted, get ready for a fight, because they're not going to stop coming until you effectively wipe out every fucking one of them. And that's where it becomes a problem when it comes to playing with randoms, because randoms will rush on headlong into battle and not think about it. This is definitely a game that rewards stealth gameplay. They quite literally give you extra experience points for stealth and melee takedowns. The good thing is that even if your 2 teammates in your team of 3 go down, you can actually save both of them yourself, or you can leave them to die. It's entirely up to you. I had a match where I was decided to play quick play for a little bit, and both my teammates had gone down. I actually managed to get both of them to the extraction area, and then I died myself right before I could get out. It actually made me mad, but it was a good mechanic. I like it. I enjoy what they did here. The rest of the progression system is based on missions. You complete the missions, you gain experience, you level up your research by gaining said experience and doing objectives, and then, after so much experience, you unlock another location up until the final objective. This is a game with a story. It's a ridiculous fucking story, and it's funny as hell, and some of the best characters aren't playable, but the story exists. And honestly, if you care about it, it's worth paying attention to. If you don't, and you just want to shoot some infected plant-based sludge monsters, all more power to you. All in all, for the core experience, based on my personal experience, if I had to assign a number value to the game, I'd give it at least a solid 8. It's a fun game, its gameplay is refined, it's solid, it's good. There's no reason not to play it if you enjoy the gameplay of Rainbow Six, or you want a slow, tactical-based zombie shooter. If you're looking for something a little bit deeper, mechanic-wise, you're not really going to find much here. It's all very basic, very surface level. I mean, you got to figure this was inspired by a one-time event that they literally never repeated. But I'd say, all in all, it's a pretty damn good game, and if you enjoy this kind of thing, it's definitely worth playing. I personally am going to be on it quite a bit. I've got a couple of other games I've been playing lately, but I'm at least going to put the extra time in when I have it. But I think that's it for this one, everybody. Thank you all for watching. Please leave a like if you enjoyed. Let me know down in the comments below if you have played it, what you think about Rainbow Six Extraction, and if you would like to see more titles like this. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this one. Obviously, don't forget to check out the Magnum Reviews playlist to see some of my previous work. And you know what? I'll see you in the next video. This game's pretty solid, not gonna lie. Like, slow tactical zombie shooter out of 10. Absolutely fucking love it.